Okay, back home finally. Excited about that. So the Raptor's a mess. Hasn't been washed in a very long time. Do my typical spray 1Z. I guess I need to stop calling it 1Z now that it's called NextZet. Anyway, what I thought I'd do today is wash the Raptor and make a wrap-up video on SEMA. While that's doing its thing, we'll sort of chat a little bit about SEMA. And I got back yesterday at like 7 p.m. Today's Sunday, and man, what an amazing adventure. I mean, I think a lot of the reason I'm so positive on it, here's my new wheel brushes, so I don't have to worry about scratching everything. You know, the wheel woolly option of these don't work because they don't fit behind any brakes unless you use a real tiny one. Yeah, this is good. This is from RDP. I don't know what RDP stands for, but this is great. So I literally had the time of my life, and I want to talk you guys through. I know there are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos up. I feel like I have a very different take that applies more to our group of crazy people than the regular man. Got Hydro 2 up under here, so I really don't need to do much. So anyway, let me take you through the what went down, what was good, what was bad. I don't really think there was anything bad other than lots and lots and lots of walking. I got my tickets through Swiss Tracks. Thank you to Sarah and Jesse and the crew there for getting me awesome, access. I didn't have to wait for doors to open. I had an actual displayer, or I guess they call it exhibitor pass, which was great to have because then I can come and go as I please. I didn't have to wait for the doors to open or anything like that. So I decided to do the whole Monday through Saturday trip, which I would highly recommend if you're going to do it. That way there's no rush to see everything. And by the way, I'm speaking to you guys that can actually get tickets because it's not open to the public. There's nothing for sale. It's just an industry trade show. This is the Wise Guy, Shine Supply Wise Guy. I'm testing out for myself. Ah, come on. So I flew out on Monday. Got there in the afternoon and hid in my hotel room just to get ready. I stayed at the Hard Rock, which I wouldn't recommend. Adam kind of talked me into that. Wanted to stay somewhere cool. And so I stayed at the Hard Rock, which is a little stinky for my taste. I fully intend next year to stay at a regular hotel without a casino. I don't gamble. I don't have any aspirations to gamble. In fact, I walk by the slot machines and they're like, don't even occur to me. See, I wonder if this Wise Guy is just sort of chemically turning brown, or if it's actually doing anything. Because these tires aren't that dirty. I wonder if that's why people like this so much. I mean, I'm not hating on it, we'll see, but I don't I don't know that this is necessary. Whatever the heck it's doing. So as I was saying, stayed at the Hard Rock. If you're anything like me, I wouldn't stay there. But, you know, the rooms are nice. But the stinkiness and sadness of really odd people is a little off the charts. The whole gambling thing just turns me off. I mean, I don't fault you for gambling. It's just not my style. And so we get there. I get there. Vegged out of my room. I wanted to go to bed early. Wanted to get up early and get to the show because I knew I needed to pick up my tickets from registration because I decided late, so shipping the tickets just didn't make sense. And in normal Maddie fashion, I'm completely obsessing over what time I need to get there. So I naturally get up at 5 a.m. and I get there by 5:45. Don't do that. Show doesn't open till 9. And the reason why I wanted to get there because I was nervous that there would be a giant line, and I wanted to make sure that I could get my ticket and not have to, in case there were any issues, it'd be easier to be sort of in line early. There really wasn't a line. Doors opened at 7. Of course, I got there and went the wrong way and walked nearly 3 miles right off the bat, trying to find the tiny little door that allows you in to register. So day 1, I ended up logging a solid 12.75 miles to be exact. So Tuesday was a rough one. In fact, around 2 o'clock, I thought my back was going to explode. This is kind of funny. The second I walked in the door, which the show hadn't even opened, there was this little annex for new companies that were new to the show or first time to the show or new products. And literally the first display I walk up to is Twin Bush. No one was there. Dan wasn't at the counter, but it was like divine intervention in that, you know, Twin Bush, I think, is probably going to be my lift company. And here's my take on SEMA. You know, I saw all these videos that were posting, like they kept started showing up in my suggested video feed, and so I kept seeing video after video after video of, you know, my tour, or, you know, my take on SEMA or my tour of SEMA, and every single one of them that I saw, other than having lots of techno music in it, which you guys know I'm not a particular fan of. It's not that I dislike techno music, I just don't see how it applies to making a video. It's just a waste of time to me. There's no way there's that much dirt right there. It's just not. So either this is stripping everything off, I just think it's chemically reacting with the rubber and turning brown. Let's try a little experiment here. I'm gonna spray it on again. Let's see if it turns the same color. Yeah. No. See, I think it just turns this color. I bet I just get the sense that if I sprayed this all day, it's going to turn brown over and over and over again until infinity, giving me the illusion it's doing something different. Because I used it on my GT3 wheels or GT3 tires, and they did the same thing, and I know those suckers are clean. So as I was saying, I have a very different take on the SEMA show than it seems the other people. Now, I know that people making videos on YouTube aren't always, you know, the best snapshot of society. But I think that, you know, most people who make videos on YouTube are pandering to society, you know, just sort of the general public, in hopes to get as many subscribers as possible, and maybe even figure out a way to make a living doing it. You know, doing car reviews or making videos or vlogging your life. Well, so, you know, I noticed a common theme And the common theme at SEMA is that, you know, there are all these cars that are just completely over the top. You know, they have to be, otherwise you'd never even notice them. And so the general theme is that, you know, you go there to see the cars that are at the show. Well, I can see cars anywhere. I can't see all these amazing products displayed with, in most cases, each company's experts on each product that are there. So I literally, and now, you know, I hung around with some other people that were, you know, I noticed how, you know, important the cars were. I literally didn't even see them. Like when I was walking around by myself, especially that first day, you know, the cars didn't even exist. Mainly because I don't like goofy cars. You guys know that. I don't like wraps. I don't like goofy colored wheels. I don't like any of that stuff. It's just not my bag. I don't like weird engine swaps. What I like are, you know, modern cars that are, you know, well engineered. It's just my style. It's what I like. There's nothing wrong with what other people like. It's just what I prefer. And so I'm telling you guys, I literally could not be more convicted and more amped after going to SEMA. No, I'm not portraying that in my speech pattern and my inflection. But I am so excited about, you know, sort of what Obsessed Garage is and what I think this channel, this business, this whatever you want to call it, this obsession with everything that's garage related, what it's going to be. I'm just more convicted after this event. Seeing some of these fantastic products, you know, Kaiser compressors, Ingersoll Rand, Chicago Pneumatic. By the way, Chicago Pneumatic is not, what is it called? I forget what pneumatic is at Harbor Freight. Chicago Pneumatic is ultra high end. You know, they make compressed air products. So it's, you know, it's very different than what you're thinking about some Harbor Freight stuff. Some people are like, why are you so excited about some crappy Harbor Freight products? Chicago Pneumatic is not exactly Harbor Freight. But anyway, I saw all these fantastic products all over the place, whether it was the scan grip, the light system that I'm going to be using, or you know, some different detailing products, even something as little as tape. You know, learning about more about tape. There's all these great things that are out there, these products that I want to use, where there's just no information. They just, you know, this has been my argument with like Kranzel and you know, CR Spotless gets it, I think, but there's something about, and I talked a lot about this with some of the manufacturers of, you know, car parts that I'm going to put on the GT350. There's something about a regular dude documenting the process, and I know that most of these companies have been burned. Everybody walks up to them and says, "Look, I'm going to make a YouTube video and put you all over Instagram. I have, you know, 40,000 followers, or, you know, whatever it is, 100,000 followers," and then they get nothing out of it because most people just aren't interested in, or don't even know how to do what we do, you know, our Obsessed Garage crew, and that's test stuff and you know, go that extra mile and just talk in real world terms. You know, here's how I'm using it, here's how I set it up. And so, like with compressors, my big argument is that there's just no information. How am I supposed to buy a $10,000 rotary screw air compressor if I don't know how to use it, or I don't know how it's set up? So I couldn't be more convicted to keep doing me. And I know this, you know, if you don't agree with me, you don't agree with what I'm doing, then this probably comes across as arrogance. But you know what? You can't please everybody, and I'm not. My goal isn't to make some big channel that everybody in the world can watch. What my goal is to create a connection or a relationship with different people, different manufacturers of great products, and just live that sort of dream that I've always had, or that vision I've always had, where I can get an air compressor or get some amazing thing and then use that thing to develop relationships with people all over the world. I'm super excited, so convicted. So, you know, yes, ma'am. So then Tuesday, I spent almost all the day Tuesday just cruising around, just looking at stuff, doing my thing. But I didn't spend a lot of time in any one spot. I got all of the, you know, the way SEMA's set up, there are several halls. There's west, there's north, there's central, and there's south. And so I got through everything except for, and then there's outside. The outside stuff, really, there wasn't really anything outside that I really cared about all that much. So I spent all of Tuesday walking around. That's where I did 13 miles. And then I ended up meeting up with Larry Cosilla, Ammo NYC, and then Kevin Brown. And now I don't know how Larry feels, but you know, there are certain people in this world that I just naturally gravitate toward, and can identify with and just understand. So I was able to spend a lot of time with Larry, not so much with Kevin Brown, but was able to spend some time and, you know, get to know him, get to know more about his story after sort of interviewing him on the podcast, and, you know, following him just loosely over the years. So let me hit the front bumper here just so I can get the bugs to start doing their thing, getting rid of there's so many bugs. So I was able to spend, you know, part of the great part about the SEMA show is the ability, or the ability to have time to spend with all these people that you've interacted with. You know, in this case, you know, the SEMA show is more about, hey, careful, Rye, is more about, you know, sort of your relationships with the different manufacturers, all these guys that I've been talking to or had questions of or have bought from, or and again, the new relationships that you make with the industry professionals. You know, Corsa exhaust, KW suspension, Eibach, you know, all these different manufacturers that I've admired their products. I got a chance to spend time with them. And because of the sort of the social evidence, or the validity of Obsessed Garage and the amount of people, all you guys that are following this stuff, I was able to sort of get the time of day from some of these manufacturers that, you know, normally that I normally wouldn't have anything to talk to them about. You know, I would just sort of go up, hey, thanks for making cool stuff, and, you know, I appreciate what you're doing. But instead, I'm actually developing relationships with these companies to gain access to cool stuff. You know, I've already talked about this, but one of the real disadvantages I think we have as consumers is that, you know, a lot of these great products, these companies don't cater to us, and they don't know how to. They wish they did, but they don't know how to. So for me, the real gold came from meeting with or meeting all these different people. I just got to spend a lot of time with Phil Yu from Detailer's Domain, a guy that I've called and talked to and asked questions of and been buying from for a decade. And I've learned, you know, most of what I've learned from reading his blogs, and to get to spend time with him, have breakfast, and, you know, it's my dream. You know, it's my life dream. Not because I'm awestruck by Larry or Kevin Brown. It's because they're people, and to spend time with people and that have a shared passion or a shared interest, and to be sort of invited in without, you know, I don't have an agenda to get anything from anybody. I just want to have a relationship. You know, with the products, I really think that I can help. I really think, you know, I talk about this equal exchange in value. I really think that I have some value to provide. They obviously have a value to provide to me, in that, you know, they make cool stuff that I would like to use and use as a medium to connect to the world. you guys. But I think that there's there's some value there that we can exchange ideas and support each other. Hey, make sure you're pushing it away from the building, okay? Oh no, Katie Bell, did you touch Daddy's car?
No.
Did you? Can you get those brushes?
No.
You aren't touching Daddy's car, are you?
I'll go check if it's wet.
It's
Yeah,
good.
she touched it.
Katie Bell, you know the rules, right?
Why?
You know the rules not to touch Daddy's car?
Sorry.
That's okay. Just don't touch Daddy's car. Right, you know the rules, right? We never mess with the cars. Life lessons with Maddie Mormon. Oh, shoot, so I'm going to foam this thing. We'll let that sit for a minute and I'll come back. As I was saying, getting the fruit of the whole thing for me was getting the time to spend
Katie, don't touch the car.
with all these different people. From people that watch Obsessed Garage stuff to, Adam and Nicole. I got to meet David Patterson, that dude in blue, who, we were talking about cars and stuff, but I don't think he had a clue who I was. But I've seen him. He's commented on some of my videos, so I just assumed he did, but I don't think he does. But man, that guy's special. I'm telling you. He just, it's like I've said this before. I think Adam LZ. I think he's. There's a reason why he has over 1 million people following him, and it's not because he's putting out goofy content to try to gain an audience. I mean, he really is a special dude. Like, there's something about him. I don't know how to explain it. David Patterson is like a savant. I mean, sitting there, he knows about every single car, it seems, and all over the world. And it's not just supercars. It's not it's not Mustangs. It's just everything. It's just I can see why people follow him. David Patterson, Adam LZ, Gold. And so SEMA for me was all about sort of I don't want to say a coming out party, but a coming out of hiding. It's so hard for me to I would just rather stay in my hotel room, and so I forced myself to go out and do things. Not Vegas things, but to go out and meet people and spend time with people and the satisfaction of that is just incredible. And so it's like the mandate that I talk so much about of my psychologist. It told me to go out and meet people and stop, get out of my own head. I feel like the homework assignment was completed. So for me, that's what SEMA this year was all about. And to be able to humbly go to like Kaiser compressors or Ingersoll Rand was probably the best conversation I had with any company, or Prevost, who makes connections, makes compressed air products. They don't make compressors, but they make products to support it. And being able to just sort of tell the story. What are you doing, bro? What did you do? Why do you make her cry? I don't understand what the point of that is. You're a little manipulator, Katie Bell. Oh, sorry. That's her new thing. And like I said, I got a chance to spend a lot of time with Larry Kosilla and sort of pick his brain on certain things, and some of these lessons learned from some of these people about how they got to where they got to. And the common thread is you know, why limit yourself? Check this out. Plumber came when I was gone. So now I'm gonna rinse the truck. And I've got my deionizer plumbed. So all I have to do is turn the water off here, water on, and now we'll flush the system while I'm rinsing, and we'll have a nice deionized water. I wanted to do stainless, but it was so expensive. So this is my temporary permanent setup. So we're closed, open. Deionizer's ready to rock. Fire up the machine because it goes to sleep. And now I'm not gonna dry the truck, I'm just gonna rinse it. So all I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna blow the thing off with the leaf blower and just let it dry on its own. I'm not gonna clean the interior or any of the jams or any of that stuff. I'll do that because I'm gonna do Michelle's car and I don't wanna be out here all day. It's getting serious out here. Hat's on backwards. Doing 2 cars right back to back, which I usually don't do. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some Carpro Reset because the Tahoe is a mess. So I'm gonna foam it with some Reset and wash it with some Reset. I haven't used this yet, so this will be a first. So let's put a couple ounces in here. 1.35 ounces, so put a couple ounces in my wash bucket. So let's continue our discussion about the SEMA show and how absolutely amazing it was. And I think the reason for that is because I didn't go there with an agenda. I didn't go there to make friends or make money or do anything specific. I went just simply to be, you know, so there was no agenda, there was no attachment to any sort of outcome. And I think people can see that. I don't know. I'll give you a couple of examples. So the basic concept of Reset here is to use more intense soap to reset the coating, and out of laziness, I'm gonna hydro to it. I haven't used this stuff before, so this will be a first. Michelle's car is really, really dirty. I haven't messed with it in a while. That's the reason why I put a coating on it, so that it lasts longer and I don't have to deal with it every week, or in my case, seems like every month. So back to what I was talking about with SEMA, I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples of how insane it's been. This sort of transformation of me as a human. Nothing I wanted to do other than to just go enjoy myself and kind of see how things went, and just meet some people and learn about some cool products. And not have some big master plan of how I'm gonna get somebody's account or get something for free or make Obsessed Garage bigger and better. Instead, I just went as me. And I can't tell you how many examples of awesome stuff that happened. So just to give you one or two examples, my buddy Brian Orr, who produces the podcast, just creates this fantastic podcast that otherwise wouldn't be able to produce. He sent an email to a guy named Jimbo Baylin. So if you're a detailer and you watch this stuff, you probably know who he is. I had listened to his podcast several times, but I've had a difficult time sort of getting into podcasts. That changed a little bit this week as I've gotten into a bunch of them on the airplane. And so Brian, basically sent stats and said, hey, Jimbo, I think that you and Matt should meet. And, I think you could benefit each other. And I think Jimbo took it as, who the heck is this guy? And what is he sending me stats for? What's the point of that? And so we were texting back and forth. and decided, I think it was Thursday, that hey, let's plan something. Let's get together and let's talk about maybe recording a podcast. Jimbo was planning on doing some recording while he was there. And so he and another guy walked up to me. We were texting, and I said, look, I'm over by CarPro. And we finally sort of caught up, because if you haven't been to SEMA, it's kind of hard to figure out where you're going to be from minute to minute. So it's so big that it's hard to track anybody down. So we finally met up, and I think I disarmed him a little bit by saying, I'm the guy in a blue shirt, gray hat, goofy looking, which is true. And so him and this other guy walk up to me, and the expression on their face, I could see it, because they're like legit detailers. They're real detailers. And I'm just a guy in my garage messing around. And the look on their face. And so I looked at the badges. Okay, all right, now I know who Jimbo is. And the other guy's name was Darren Priest from Auto Fetish Detail. And I was like, oh shoot, I know that guy. He's that, the goofy guy that is very adamant about certain things on YouTube. I've seen a few of his videos. When I say goofy, I mean he's a super serious dude. But he's eccentric, just like anybody who has a personality has some eccentricities to him. And so, again, I didn't have any agenda other than to just get to know these guys and learn about their story, and I could tell mine. And so they walk up to me, and we're standing in a circle, and I could just see it in their face, like, who is this guy? What does he think he is? What's the deal? And so I started telling them the story of, basically I said, look guys, here's why I'm here, because I could tell they couldn't figure out, why am I over in the North Hall, hanging out with all these detailers, and and who am I to be even be on an industry podcast? And this wasn't their fault. This was just, this is sort of the question that a lot of people have that are real, that do this for a living. And I'm an internet detailer, self-proclaimed. And so I just started telling them the story. So I said, I bet you guys are wondering sort of what the heck I'm doing here, and who I am. And so I started to tell them the story. I don't know how we sort of got into it, but we started recording, just standing right there. So Jimbo started recording. You guys will probably be able to hear the story. But just telling how, several years ago, I had an OCD meltdown. I decided that I needed to, or was told that I needed to let people in. And then the process of creating some journals on the ownership experience of my cars, combined with then a YouTube channel and then a website and the whole story. And I could see in like mid-conversation, because I didn't have any agenda to win them over or show them how much smarter or better or whatever insecurity you have, I just let all that go. And I just saw like the power of just talking dude to dude and talking about passions. And I could see their faces sort of light up, and they sort of let me finish the story. And then they naturally had some questions, just because, again, I let go of the fact, the old me probably would have bowed up and showed them how smart I am, and obviously that wouldn't work so well, being as I'm not really a professional detailer. And so to see their faces change, and to then just we stood there literally for like 2 hours, until the point where our backs were destroyed, just talking about life and detailing and business and what's the deal with the sort of the detailing industry and coatings and waxes, and just stood there talking, friend to friend, man to man. It was incredible. And so if I had have gone there with an agenda to like, make a certain amount of money or do something or get something, I guarantee that would never happen. Another example, which would never have happened. So I'm exhausted, just completely destroyed from walking around day in, day out. I actually walked back to the hotel. It's like 2 miles. So this was Friday night. And I sit down and I'm having a burger by myself. And a guy sitting next to me on his computer. And I'm telling you, I mean, I must have a different look on my face or something, because no one has ever discussed anything or talked to me before out of the blue. I swear it's like because of the way I'm being. It's just different. I think that, maybe, I always say that I'm very unapproachable. Well, maybe that was because it was in my head. I mean, it's possible, I guess, that that's what people saw. And now that I've let go of all of that, it's opened me up. And we sat there for 2.5 hours talking about, marketing and business and wealth management, and he is a chiropractor, and just sitting there talking about life. And some of the lessons we've learned. And I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. So I'm just doing this stuff or having this connectivity and this sort of self-epiphany that, it's not all about the stuff and the pursuit and the money. It's about the people. And when you let people in, all that other stuff just comes. It's amazing. And so I've completely decided that, and Larry Velez, one of my sort of original followers, he tends to disagree with me a lot and bust my chops, sent me a Gary Vaynerchuk, and I normally hate that kind of self-help crap. Basically where Gary's talking about, other people are always going to naysay, and to not sound a prick, not to sound like a prick about it. We'll see. We'll see who wins. We'll see what happens. So this trip taught me to just do me, keep doing what I know how to do, and do it the best that I possibly can. And there's no way that that it's not going to work out for me. It's just not. It's not possible. And I'll make more friends and more money and be charitable and all this stuff just by showing up, doing me, not trying to copy anybody else. I'm just going to do it the way I know how to do it. And the world will continue to open up. So anyway, my SEMA experience was very much about people and relationships, and it's just the simple connectivity that allowed me to learn, that allowed me to make more money in the future, that allowed me to sell more t-shirts, that will allow me to get more clients in wealth management, that will allow me to have more friends, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to protect that by simply deleting the negativity or calling the negativity out in a fun way. I'm not going to let it get to me like I did last week. I'm just going to keep doing it. Doing what? I don't know. We'll figure it out. If I make money, cool. If I don't, cool. But I think by having that attitude, I don't think there's any way that you can fail. I know this is like super deep when I'm supposed to be talking about some goofy motor swapped, Honda at SEMA. But SEMA wasn't about that for me. SEMA was about me doing more me. Because if I do more me, it allows me to not be the center of everything. So those of you who are sitting here watching, watching me wash a car and tell me that I'm arrogant and stupid and ugly and fat and whatever. We'll see who wins. And I suspect it won't even be me that wins. It'll be everybody that's around me that wins. And if you don't like that, sorry. You know, the fact that you can still be a good dude and make a profit off of your brand, you know, people, otherwise you'll be miserable, and what's the point? And I will tell you guys, Kevin Brown is pretty much the nicest dude in the world. He's awesome. If you don't know who Kevin Brown is, look up buffdaddy.com and start doing your research, because he's just a great dude. And he's like the godfather of modern polishing. At least in my book. I keep forgetting about Mark Blackman. He's doing something very similar to what I'm attempting to do, which is just do him. And has created a podcast and has interviewed lots of, you know, big names in the car world and is sort of doing it his way. And, you know, I met up with Mark. I'd forgotten that I didn't know Mark. He didn't know me. We never met each other. But it was like instant. Like there was no, it was like I was seeing somebody I went to college with. All because of this thing. Whatever. So SEMA 2016 for me was about the people, the cool stuff, and just the nonstop putting myself out there over and over and over again. And I was never let down once by doing that. Because my natural tendency at an event like that is to go check out what I want to check out and then make no effort to be a part of anything other than whatever I'm about. SEMA for me was life-changing. Not because it was super fun, and which it was, but it was life-changing for me to put myself out there, make an effort to go to dinner with people, to connect with people that I've met, you know, online or through other formats. You know, Phil from Detailer's Domain, Mark Blackman from That Car Podcast. You know, of course, Larry Cosilla, spent a lot of time with him. Kevin Brown, Jason Rose, Dylan Von Kleist, Jeff from Gion, Corey from Car Pro, the 50 or 60 or 80 of you guys that I'd met that stopped me, or we walked around a little together. You guys know who you are. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait to go next year because it's only going to get bigger. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep doing me. I'm just going to do more of it, if that's even possible. I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. I'm going to be present. And I'm going to keep putting myself out there with or without the negativity. Because I honestly believe it's only a matter of time before those negative people jump on board as well. So thanks for watching. Me wash another car. By the way, I'm gonna hit this with Car Pro Hydro 2 because I'm too lazy to put some reload on it, because this is my second car of the day. I just don't want to do a full wipe down, so I'm going to de-ionize and then do a very quick Hydro 2 spray down, and then or spray down with Hydro 2 and then de-ionize. Yeah, this reset is pretty good. So stay tuned for lots more crazy. I'm going to keep doing me, and hopefully you guys will continue to connect. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. So what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor. Foot to the floor.